Konnichiwa, and welcome to, what are we calling this?
Wrestle Kingdom
wrap-up.
Talkie Walk.
Welcome to that, the Talkie Walks, where the walks will talk the talks, and the talks will walk the walks. I'm joined by Philip.
Hello.
James Chambers. The middle name?
Nope.
Made
John.
up.
Close.
John.
Very close.
Wasn't far off.
Solidly
and
close.
Adam Nicholas.
Hello.
We just watched Wrestle Kingdom 12.
And it was great.
Yes.
It was wonderful.
Who's editing this?
I am.
I'm very sorry. I'm f***ing exhausted. It's about an hour and a half till we can justify going home. I am counting the goddamn minutes, but before we get there, we're going to go through the pay-per-view and the card.
Yes, we are.
And give you our impression. Yeah. Right, we didn't watch the pre-show Rumble, because life is perilously short and we're already having to come in at stupid o'clock.
Yeah, it was 8 a.m. We're not going to do that.
Yep, but we did start with Roppongi. Am I still getting it right?
Roppongi.
Roppongi
3K.
Roppongi 3K, who are 3,000 times better than Roppongi Vice.
Yep.
Yes, they are. Still got it right.
And they were up against the Young Bucks, WCPW alumni.
Yep.
And that was...
So Roppongi 3K?
That was a great match. A great way to start it. We have given it a very good score by the looks of it. 4 stars, according to Andy Murray.
Yeah.
Wow.
I thought that was very interesting. Overall, what do we think of this match? Enjoyment level?
I enjoyed it.
Really good fun. Great way to start the show.
Good fun's the way I describe it. I find a lot of Young Bucks matches like that. They find a way of putting good wrestling in, but with comedy.
Yeah,
makes light of it. Yeah.
We've put the Young Bucks a couple of times, and the thing that stood out to me is they do the same match every time, but somehow when you're watching it doesn't feel like it.
You still enjoy it, don't you? You still enjoy it, I think, and that's the main thing. They can do it over and over again.
Lots of silly spots.
It's still very inventive, still very original. After that, we had the Gauntlet.
Yeah,
that's what they're calling it.
the 6-man.
Now, you told me that this is what they do with the people who don't have anything to actually do at Wrestle Kingdom. Now, there's quite big names in that, so I was surprised to hear that's what they do with it.
Yeah, surprisingly so. Ishii, Zack Sabre.
Why do these people have nothing to do? Have their feuds ended? Or are they just not that interesting?
Yeah, feuds must have just ended. They weren't going into a huge program for Wrestle Kingdom, and generally Wrestle Kingdom is big storylines. It's a big payoff.
And it's quite hard to keep. I mean, the amount of big storylines that they did have already is probably justifiable to say that it's a shame that so many people lost out, but there's still got quite a lot of people on there with meaningful card matches.
Yeah.
Was there an obvious winner going into this?
I don't think so, no.
There was definitely an obvious loser.
There was definitely an obvious loser in War Machine and Elgin, because War Machine heading up to NXT.
They had no way,
Is that's nailed
it's
on?
It's rumoured. It's not official.
It's not being made official, but it's like...
Have we done a news video on it?
I don't know. Have, yes.
Have we? Nailed on. Winners overall? Was that...
It was good. It was what you expect it to be. It was nothing special. It was nothing...
Then we had Cody versus Kota Ibushi.
Yes, we did.
Now, this didn't go... I think a lot of people sort of had their predictions based on this match with an amendum of, like, we think it's going to go this way because we think something will happen later on.
Yeah.
And obviously that didn't happen. But in isolation, I thought this match was absolutely excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it might have been maybe one of my favourite of the night, actually.
It's up there with my favourites of the night.
I would easily say it was in my favourite 3 matches of the night, but I imagine as we go through this, that was
because you start to remember what happened. Yeah.
There's about 7 matches in my top 3.
Yeah.
Definitely up there with the best of Cody in New Japan, up there with his Okada match last year.
Yeah, you could tell he was definitely trying to show, okay, I belong here, this is my...
He's not really had the huge standout moments in New Japan yet.
He's had a lot of them in Ring of Honor, hasn't he?
That was a long way towards getting there for him.
That was his whole gimmick, wasn't it? That he effectively walked in and been this top of the card, main event, big deal guy, and he wasn't. Like, he didn't have the matches to back it up, and that's where his heel persona came from.
Yeah, and they gave him the match against Okada. Yeah, was it the one in Long Beach? Was that the one?
Yeah, in California.
And it kind of I think people were really outraged he had that match initially. But then he did all right. He did good.
Yeah, he did
just
really
a decent match. But then this match, I think, for me, was better than that one. And I think, that spot where they did the crossroads
that was incredible.
On the floor was so
it's more credit due to Kota Ibushi for taking that and taking it so well. But it just the match itself was incredible.
Yeah, it was really well put together.
Fantastic match, really well paced. Just really great match.
That's comfortably 4, possibly 4+ stars.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Next we had the match, which I'll be totally honest, was the one I had the least interest in. I knew nothing about really the competitors going in, and nothing about the story or the belt. Killer Elite Squad.
Yes, okay.
Versus Evil and Sonata.
Yeah.
Now, this was brilliant, I thought.
This was a lot better than I was expecting it to be.
Brave Brooklyn at the start to have him hit the finish straight away, and the rest of the matches.
And all of us did even though we may not be quite so attuned to New Japan, we were all like, we joked about it and then they went for it. And I was like, they might even do this dead quick.
There's two. I mean, I had no idea which way that match.
Yeah.
was gonna go.
No.
Not just because I didn't know he was going in.
Yeah, it was a great match, completely different to anything else on the card as well.
But the thing is, like, I think even though maybe we didn't have big expectations of the match, I thought the storytelling in that match was actually really good.
Same.
Yeah.
There was a lot of. We all thought we had it nailed on to a point, and then it started to change again, and then you think, actually, it's definitely going to go. Evil had been getting beat up for quite some time, and you think, it's going to be him, and then
Big Hero come back, and
then
they
they kept flipping. You just didn't know where the shoe was going to be finally put on, and eventually, obviously, it went how it did. So yeah,
it's great. The
Very
heavyweight tag division in New Japan isn't always that great either.
Minoru Suzuki versus Hiroki.
So
Hiroki?
Hiroki.
Hiroki. Especially with chocolate in my mouth. Goto. Now,
I have to bow for this.
I've heard.
I was making killer content when this was happening. So
Well, I'd spent the best part of 2 weeks hearing the Dudley boys tell us that this is the most fascinating match because absolutely, on the one hand, there's absolutely no way Goto can win that and Minoru Suzuki shaves off set. Zero chance whatsoever.
Yeah, because of how legendary Suzuki's hair is. Yeah.
But conversely, there's absolutely no way in hell they would even book this match unless it was to put Goto over.
Yeah.
So you've got two completely contrasting ideologies going into it, both of them. To go in the face of either of them is so un-New Japan. So it was fascinating. Minoru Suzuki, someone else we've had on shows.
Another one of the 17 people on this card that we've got.
17, was it?
17.
Wow. I said on the stream, he is simultaneously the scariest and the gentlest man, the most polite, respectful, but also absolutely terrifying human being I've ever met. And that's kind of how he wrestles as well. Absolutely brutal.
He's a very intense dude. Very intense.
Yeah. They just went out there and kicked the crap out of each other.
Next we had the Fatal 4-Way. First ever Fatal 4-Way for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Long names these. Yeah. We had Cambridge's Marty Skrull.
Yeah.
Essex's Will Ospreay. And Japan's Kushida.
Give me the hometown to these two chaps.
Takahashi.
Yeah, there you go.
Again, and we were annoyed watching this because we realised, hang on, we could have booked that.
Yeah, that could have been.
We could have booked that. We're all four of them on the same show.
On the same show as well.
Match.
I didn't realise that.
Yeah.
I didn't realise. So again, I can't contribute as much to this, unfortunately, because I was still making fire content
this
at this
thing.
point.
You absolutely can, because can you just imagine what a fatal 4-way between those four would be like?
I can imagine it. Yes. I'm sure it was
pretty much exactly what it was.
Exactly what it was. It was everything it needed to be, everything I wanted it to be, and it was fantastic.
At no stage of the whole thing was there ever anybody who looked even remotely like an obviously clear winner.
Yeah,
there were
it
parts
was mad
where
how back and forth it was. Anyone could have won it at any point.
There was parts in this match where you could identify every single one of the phone numbers. They're out. That's them gone. Yeah. That's them taking their big move that keeps them out of the finish.
Yeah.
Then they came back in. And it just kept going round and round and round. And we had our predictions for this.
We did.
We got to cover 50% of the whole match.
Yeah.
And it was the one person we thought couldn't win it.
One person I would never have picked to win it.
Why? Because he's never beaten Skrull? Because
he's never beaten Skrull.
It took him ages to beat Kushida.
I don't know, he got the belt last year and then he didn't hold it for very long and he lost it to Skrull. And it's... I don't know whether they didn't have faith in him
whether they're not
champion or something.
Whether they're not sold on him.
But he's...
So why now then? What's changed?
I don't know. Look at him.
Is
Is
it his run with...
He's absolutely amazing.
Is it his main event run in Defiant that's changed?
Where is the... Yeah, exactly. Do you know what it was? It was that list. It was our top 10 list.
Without being that guy, the match he had with Kushida in that World Cup final, and the match he had with Bane, like his run in the... Like, we know New Japan were watching the Pro Wrestling World Cup because they helped us with it. They had a lot of their guys in it. You know, we couldn't have done it without them.
Yeah.
Ospreay was every single match was a match of the tournament contender.
Yeah,
pretty like Ricochet, incredible. Bailey, incredible. Even the one with Rampage.
Yeah.
And the thing was.
I think the note was, and just to plug it, the 10 best Defiant matches of wrestling.
Yes.
Watch that on YouTube. It's lovely. You'll find this man there. It's delightful.
He edited it.
I did edit it. But however, the fact that we had to put a sort of...
Yeah, we had to put a cap.
We had to put a cap on Will Ospreay matches, otherwise pretty much the entire list.
Yeah, him Mysterio as well. Every match was incredible.
Insane.
Is there a slight possibility that, coupled with his work in other promotions, that has been a lot standout stuff. He's had such a good year in British wrestling that now it makes sense to just do everything they can with him.
Possibly, yeah. He's having match of the night every single place he goes.
Yeah.
The thing is, whenever you praise Ospreay's now such a success that whenever you praise him, you get people like, "Oh, he's sucking off Ospreay."
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think the thing people don't if you don't like that style of wrestling, I get why there's nothing for you there in Ospreay because that's just his style of wrestling. But
Yeah.
I have watched every match he's done for us.
Yeah. Him against Galloway.
Him against Galloway.
It was not that style of wrestling.
I've watched every single
Amazing.
match he's done for us, and somehow every single one is inventive, is different.
Yeah.
Junior heavyweight IWGP division, the strongest title picture in wrestling at the minute.
I would say so, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's been incredible.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at that. It was the last 4 champions in that match together, and look how good every single one of them was.
and like you say, you could put a case up for any of them to have won
Yeah.
that match,
Yep.
and
And
it
would have been fine.
None of them would have been a
No one
shocker.
would have.
And even to say that Will Ospreay was the one you least expected to
Yeah,
win the match,
it's
and
mad.
he did.
And then when the match happens, Kushida was probably the one that you would say, oh, he wasn't as good as the rest. And he's Kushida.
and he's
Yeah.
incredible.
he's a sensation. Yeah,
1 billion stars from us for that one.
all of the stars. in
Then
the
we
sky.
had another one I wasn't really I'm not interested in going into it, but obviously when you read a bit about it, it's quite fascinating. It's Jay White versus Tanahashi.
So you
Yeah.
really, because I have no idea what happened in this one. So you're
Now
gonna have to
I'm
let me
so
know.
emotionally
Yeah.
exhausted. I can only remember bits of
God,
this.
I can't
This one
even
kind of
remember that
blurred
much
into
of
the
it.
rest. Jay White, big new hot new thing. He was doing the Young Lions thing as
Yes.
well. Came back as Switchblade.
Yes.
Went straight for Tanahashi, who is like the old guard. He
Yeah,
kept the
absolute
company.
legend.
Yeah. So it almost represented a passing of the torch this one. Now, our 2 resident New Japan experts, the Dudley boys, they were bang on, 100% nailed on Jay White's winning.
I always had.
Why didn't he?
This. Because there's honor in defeat. It's Japanese wrestling. This isn't
Yeah.
WWE.
You don't just
He
lose one
can
buried, yeah.
go up there and go toe to toe with one of the best the company has, and gain so much more popularity from that than just going out there and beating him. Because he can now say, "I've gone toe to toe with you." He can do the bow at the end, the bow of respect, whatever, and move on from there. Like with his head held high, that he went toe to toe
Even if
with
he's a
one of
heel?
the best he had. Yeah.
Yeah, but even
Especially
if, essentially just because he's taken him to the limit, he's
Yeah.
taken him to his level. Yeah.
Yeah, and Tanahashi will put him over, saying how great he was,
Yeah.
and he'll move on there from in a much stronger position than he was now.
It is interesting seeing the difference in progressive storytelling in New Japan to like the difference between that and WWE in terms of, like you said there, a guy who's a heel who has just gone toe to toe with obviously a legend like Tanahashi, and then you're like, actually, they're looking to elevate both guys, not just to be like, oh, this is the guy like if it was Cena, oh, we're just looking to put that guy over, and then the other guy can just wither off and die somewhere.
Yeah.
It's completely different, isn't
Yeah, they can make both people a star and have a great match. And
And not to say that
everyone
doesn't
comes out
happen in WWE, but it's not something they actively always try to push, is it?
best. Yeah.
So after that, we had possibly the most hyped up, most anticipated, most exciting match wrestling scene in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years.
Name the last one. That's the biggest.
I can't remember anything on this level.
More hyped than this.
Kenny Omega
Very weird, yeah.
versus Christopher, the Canadian Jericho. Now, straight up, just quick answer: did this live up to the hype?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
Why?
I think so.
Why? You watched it.
I don't know. Well, I mean the birthday
Look at
cake.
the swerve, look at the
match.
swerve, yeah. I'll ask you a question and I'll start eating a bit of cake.
It was a hell of a match. It was what we expected it to be, and it was sort of more of a fight than a wrestling match, but it still went like 40 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Jericho held more than his own.
Well.
He was put any doubters into his age and whether he can still go.
I mean, at his age, he's just gone and done a 34-minute match with Kenny Omega and hasn't looked out of place.
Not even slightly.
Not even
a
remotely.
little bit.
To the point where it's like, from the quality he was given, you could be the same age or younger and just be like, yeah, he's just put that match in, no problem.
Just accepted it.
And the spots he took in the match for his
Yeah.
age again,
He took
he's committed to his
bigger
cause.
spots as he gave. He-
Were you expecting it to be that brutal? I know the build up to it and the little altercations I had ahead of time were, they were very, very not PG.
No.
He busted him wide open. They were saying all kinds of stuff about each other.
Yeah.
But were you expecting the match itself to have this many like weapon spots and this
think
much
so,
blood?
Yeah, and the reason I think is because obviously making it a no disqualification match for anybody who might not have been bought into the fact that maybe Jericho could get one over Omega, it suddenly made it like
Yeah, put that
anything
little
could
bit of
happen.
doubt
Put
in
that
anyone's
fraction of
mind.
doubt in, which is obviously very deliberate. And you know, a guy like Jericho knows how to tell that story. He knows how to get the fans guessing.
And he was brilliant at telling
Yeah,
the
he's
story.
fantastic.
The little interactions with the fans he did.
And I did like that as well. Little things, that's Jericho and nuance.
He brought Lion Tamer back, which we've not seen in a long time.
Back, which I haven't seen. The fact he was talking to one of the commentators, a Japanese commentator, which I'm fairly confident I know he's got a relationship with to some degree.
Right.
And it's like all them little things that he does. He's always thinking, I think we grab the camera.
Where you shout,
Wow,
Kenny was it? Kenny,
Yeah,
Yeah, just taking
Yeah.
pictures of the crowd
Just
with
take a
his
pic-
finger
yeah.
like that.
He just knows how to work it. And someone tweeted actually, there was a picture of him with a big smug grin on his face, and it was just like saying, when you know you've got them in the palm of your hand. And
Yeah.
It's just like, that's exactly what it was.
Throughout the whole
Yeah.
thing.
Any other issues on Omega Jericho? I feel like
I think what we should, what
Or just anything any more we need to say.
We've talked a lot about Jericho. I think let's not forget about Omega. He was
course.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was fantastic.
I mean,
His selling for Jericho was incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he made it believable. He made it to the point where we weren't sure anymore if it was which
When
way it
you
was gonna
when
go.
you think about it now after it's finished, there was absolutely no way on this earth they could ever have let Jericho go over Omega.
It would be
They would have
better.
to have started a program. They would have had to put this
Unless
belt on
they
him.
had guaranteed
Unless-
extra dates
yeah,
for Jericho.
Unless Jericho was working for New Japan, there
Yeah.
was no way.
And yet, right up until the finish,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there was still
Omega
that.
made me believe that Jericho could win
And
that.
he literally did. The point when he had him in the walls of Jericho, I thought that was the big
So
exchange.
long.
For so long, and we were thought, this is it. He's
Is
going
it?
to
He's
do
going
it.
to call it. He's going to pass out.
Omega was.
Well, that last code breaker after he got out with the.
Yeah.
It was the dropping of the arms though. It was that we thought we were going to go. They were
Selling
going to go
from
for like the
Omega was
Austin
fantastic.
Bret Hart finish, didn't we? Where
Brilliant.
he passed out, he didn't tap, and the arms just kept dropping, and it just looked so. But it was just great.
Yeah.
It was really good.
Okada
Yeah.
versus Naito.
Yeah.
Now, this was, if you know your stuff, captivating storytelling.
Yeah.
Okada's had it for what, over 500 days now?
Yeah.
And he won it off
564.
Naito, and Naito was the first person to ever win the G1 and not get the headline Wrestle Kingdom.
Yeah.
Tell us the story. It wasn't over enough. What was the.
They were worried that as a top babyface, he wasn't over enough to sell a Wrestle Kingdom as a main event. So he put it up as a fan vote. The fans voted against him getting the main event. So anyway, he went away. He went to Mexico. He joined Los Ignobles.
Los Ignibiglies.
Then he came back to Japan as a heel, formed LIJ, and just went to Stardom from there. So it's a big redemption story of not being voted good enough
Yep.
to being
That's
second most popular.
an absolutely incredibly believable heel motivation, that, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Literally, that story writes itself. He comes back as the villain, but if you actually think about his motives, he's completely justified.
Yeah.
The one thing I was talking with the Dudley boys about was that you compare this scenario where you've had a guy who the fans have they've essentially rejected him, if you want to put it as harsh as that.
Yeah.
But then you look at Roman Reigns, and right, and you
Why
look
don't
at
they
the
just
guy-
send him to
the company
Mexico?
who's been rejected, and you think there's a guy who's just gone away. I'm not saying send Roman, obviously, but
Yeah.
move away from, go with
Yeah.
the fans.
This could be the Roman Reigns.
You're looking at a story.
Yeah.
And think about how good that story is with the receipt that comes back, and everybody was bought into it. Everybody's
Yeah.
thinking,
Yeah.
"This is great. Is Naito going to get the redemption that
Yeah.
he had on the table?" And obviously, the match was amazing to go with it. I think.
Yeah,
That's fair to
fantastic.
say.
Fantastic.
And
Absolutely brilliant.
again, a completely different type of match to everything else
Yeah.
that had gone on before.
Yeah, so what do they do from here? Does he stay in the title picture? Do they
have
do
no
they
idea.
change it
Be interesting to
afterwards?
see.
How long are we talking before they've realistically got a chance to take it off him?
No idea.
Would it have to be the next Wrestle
Okada's
Kingdom?
the longest reigning champion ever
Yeah.
now.
Ever?
Yeah.
Ever, yeah.
For that belt, yeah.
Wow.
Superseded
So
the other
you
guys.
build that up, and if a story like Naito's isn't big enough to topple that reign,
What would be?
Kenny
would be?
Omega.
Omega again?
Omega's got to be Omega.
That was the big story.
It's
The
the one
question going into this match.
he's never done it. He's never beaten Okada
That,
for the big.
that was definitely the question going.
He's
into this
beaten
match.
Okada, though.
He's
The
beaten
main
but
belt.
not for the
He's
main
never
belt.
beaten
Yeah.
the
And
main
the
belt.
fact of the matter was is that like, if there's two stories where if Naito wins, it's like, well, where does that leave Okada and Omega? Because that's kind of what they want. And I think Omega isn't leaving New Japan anytime soon because
Nah.
that's his sights. He's looking at that title and thinking, I'm not going anywhere till I've won that title.
Yeah.
So
He's never won it.
never won it.
Never won the big one.
Never won the
Never
big
won
one.
the big
Oh, there's your
That's
story
why he's
then.
staying there, of course. And I think that could potentially be a whole year's
So,
build
yeah.
up until next
So if
Wrestle
it's not
Kingdom.
Naito, it's got to be Omega.
Yeah, has to be.
Right, thank you. We're going to go now because we could talk about this show
We
for
will end up-
hours, but I'm sure you've got things to do. We
Go
don't.
watch it. if you
Yeah, go watch
watch
it
it.
for
It's
Christ's sake. What are you listening
fantastic.
to us for?
Yeah.
Thank you so much to my pals either side of me. Thank you to Adam Nicholas.
You are very welcome.
Thank you to Phil for the cake and for joining me for the entire goddamn show. Also, thank you to Jules and Adam Wilborn who were there as well. I'm sure you've heard of them. Adam, where can they get you on the twit twats?
You can get me at it's Adam Nicholas. That's not confusing at all, is it?
It's Adam.
at Fill My Chambers.
And at Adam Cleary. Thank you very much.
There you go.
We're going to finish this cake. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and come back for more Wrestle Kingdom reaction for what remains of the week. Yeah, goodbye.
Hey.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.